This is lesson 3, the last lesson for using illustrations and graphics in Word. So this lesson we'll be talking about other graphics that you can use besides images in Word, which is shapes, WordArt, and SmartArt. And they are used to enhance documents. And you can use these graphics to create beautiful Word documents. You can create flyers, posters, promotional documents, anything you need that is super creative. So this is going to be in the lesson 3 folder of your Word and Illustrations and Graphics folder. And so we're just going to go ahead and get started. So the first we're going to cover is shapes. And shapes are figures such as lines, rectangles, stars, banners, and more. So how you insert a shape into Word is you go to Insert. And this is the area we'll be working with. Notice how pictures are here. Shapes is what we're working with now. So you click drop down and you have all these different options. Lines, rectangles, your basic shapes, arrows, equations, flowcharts, stars and banners, and callouts. You have so many. So we're just going to go ahead and draw an example. So I'm going to use a block arrow. Whenever you choose your shape, you get this drawing tool cursor. And you hold in your mouse and you can draw your shape. You can make it any size you want. So if you need a really thick, small arrow, you can do it like that. You can do it long, short, however you need it. So for now, we're just going to do this. Whenever you release your mouse, notice this shape format tab opens, just like whenever we did the inserting pictures. Whenever you inserted your picture into Word document, you got a picture format tab. We just inserted a shape, so we have shape format tab. Alright, so there's different effects that you can add to your shapes as well. So on your shape format tab, under shape effects, you have these preset options such as, oh well, they don't have names, they're just called presets. And then you have your typical shadow, outer, inner perspective shadows, reflections, glows, soft edges, bevel, and 3D rotation. So since we've played around with shadow, reflection, and glow before, we're going to focus on bevel and 3D rotation. So for bevel, there are circle bevels, angle bevels, soft round, convex, hard edge, riblet, and some more. So we're just going to use, let's say we'll use the angle bevel. And notice how the edges kind of added like a slope to them. And then another cool thing is 3D rotation. You have parallel, perspective, and oblique. And it gives it that 3D effect. So if I were to choose perspective, notice how the arrow turned into a 3D object, and you can see how defined that bevel is now. So let's try another 3D. That was a perspective. Let's do a parallel. We'll do this one. Yep, notice how it turned into a 3D object. And you can see that as 2. Another thing with shapes is that you have theme style and presets over here. So you can choose theme style like intense, moderate, subtle effects, light outlines, and colors. So we can use like this yellow, we can use green. Yeah. You can also add a color to your shape. So you can use one of these theme colors, or you can do more fill colors and choose one that way and click OK. You can add an outline to your shape. So right now this doesn't have an outline, but I want to add an outline. So I'm going to add this hot pink outline. And notice how it's there, but it's really thin. I'm going to zoom in for you. Okay, so what you can do is go back and you have this weight and dashes option. So weight is the stroke and how heavy your stroke is. So right now it's at 3/4. Let's do 4 1/4. 4 1/2, sorry. Alright, so you've added your stroke, but you don't like that solid line. You can go to dashes and change the dash to however way you like. Okay? And also, like how we had in the picture effect format assignment, they had a format pane. This has a format pane as well where you can format your shape. You can change your fill, your line, add your effect, shadow, reflection, glow, and then text box if needed. Okay, so that is a really quick overview of shapes. And now we're going to play with WordArt. So we're going to go to Insert, and down on this far end underneath text is WordArt. So click WordArt and you get these presets. Now you can choose a starter, but you are able to change the way your WordArt looks once you decide. Okay? So we're going to do this gradient fill blue, and we're just going to go ahead and add text. So I'm just going to add my name. And shape format also pulled up. I'm going to go ahead and open up my format pane, and you have text options and shape options. So I want to play with my text a little bit. So with my text, I can do a fill, I can do no fill, gradient fill, solid. I'm going to do solid fill. Whoops, that did not do what I wanted it to. Okay. Here we go. Okay, text fill. Right now it's a gradient fill, and these are the colors on the gradient. And you have these preset options. So if you want to do green, you can do green. Go back to the blue, orange, or you can change your own or make your own. So the type just changes the direction. We're just going to keep it linear. You can also change the direction of your gradient as well. These gradient fills work a whole lot better on shapes than text, but I'm just showing you that gradient fill is an option. So down here on your gradient stops, you can click these individual stops and move them, and it affects the gradient. Notice on the text how it's changing. So to change the color of the stop, you click the tab, color, choose your color. Then tab, choose another color. Next tab, another color. Okay? Whenever I click off of my text, notice that beautiful gradient fill. It adds a lot of creativity and color to your document. So I highly recommend gradients if you're wanting to be super creative. Okay, so now for WordArt itself, go back to shape format. There are WordArt styles, or the styles tab, which is your presets again, your fill. If you want an outline, we're not going to do an outline on this. But effects, you have an effect for your for WordArt, and it's called transform. And it gives you these warp options and a follow path. And this is great for titles on flyers and documents. So I like this arch up follow path. So I click on it and notice how it applied that effect. Now you can change your arch level by moving your box. So the farther down you go, there's more bend. If you move it, less bend, more bend. Okay? So I'm just going to do a little bit of bend. Okay, so we're going to leave this at this very little bend. Another WordArt effects is the same as the other shape formatting, picture formatting we've played with this week. So you have glow, bevel, and this has 3D rotation as well. So you can do like a perspective. Let's see what other noticeable ones. You can do how it transforms it. Parallel. Yeah. So that's a really quick overview of WordArt. And WordArt again is just special effects that creates really decorative text, and you can change the appearance of it, add outlines, add color, shadows, transform it to like this warp that we've been playing with. And that's WordArt. Okay, SmartArt is the last thing we're going to cover, and we're just going to cover it briefly. SmartArt is also known as basically flowcharts. So on the Insert tab under SmartArt, you have all these different charts that you can choose from. You have lists, cycles, hierarchy, relationships, and this is great if you're doing like a presentation and you need to show comparisons, or a cycle, or a process of how you're going to get from beginning to end, and things like that. So we're just going to do a hierarchy real quick, and we're just going to choose this first one. So whenever you choose a SmartArt, it automatically opens up this text box, and so you can add a title. So we're going to say, let's see, we're going to do it like a business, so CEO. And notice how that's a CEO. So then under the CEO may be finance department. Okay? Then working in that finance department would be an accountant, another accountant, and maybe an auditor. Okay? So it's great for organizational charts and things like that. And you can move it up, down, depending on where you want it to go. You can also change the colors. You can do colorful, so it changes the colors based on your hierarchy. And then it has these presets. You can do 3D. Let's see what else. Another 3D option. You can make it to where it's like white instead, gray. And then the Format tab, where you can create an outline on a box, add an outline. So it has the same formatting features as WordArt and Shapes. So that's a really quick overview of SmartArt. It's basically flowcharts, so if you need to show process from beginning to end, hierarchy such as who works under who's at the top, things like that, SmartArt is great to have. So I'm going to add one more video, and it's going to cover our last assignment for this week before you take your quiz.